Hello, everyone. I started recording now, so thank you very much for coming here and everyone who's joining right now. I see a few are joining, so this is a casual event actually between Raquel and I because we want to talk about the name of the event is Latinas Rising Up because we actually think there needs to be a lot more awareness about what Latinas are doing right now, and how they're rising, how they're starting their businesses in new countries, and how Latinas actually are overcoming challenges in their daily lives. What do they do to be in business, to overcome the imposter syndrome? That's something that everyone at some point of their lives has. So what we did to overcome these things. So please, guys, if you're joining, also I want you to turn off your microphones, just in case there's any background noises. And let's get started. So everyone, thank you very much for coming. I am Paula Stewart. Paula, I want to talk about myself and Raquel in this chat. We want to introduce ourselves to you first. I was in Colombia, and in just a Catholic family. I was was with my sister Sandra, and we actually had a very typical life in South America. But I actually, since I was very little, I always had this little entrepreneurial bug. I was always trying to do get some money, do a business, work, do this and do that. That's the vibe, because I always saw a role model. That was my mom. So my mom was a very hardworking woman, hardworking Latina woman. And I think that a role model is great to have because, that's how, when you're a kid between 0 and 7 years old, in your brain, you learn all these things from your parents, from your family, and they all get ingrained in your brain. And that's how I started seeing, the entrepreneurial journey from my mom. And that's how I did it. Later in my life, I learned that I had that and I had to follow my old voice, follow my things. So that's what I started feeling. I had a few businesses, and also one that I sold. I have another business now that is in the fitness industry. And I actually published a book a few months ago, also about my story, about myself, growing up, and also about my hearing loss, because I had some medical issues. I lost my hearing, and that actually, switch the things in my life really, I had a very different perception of things after that happened. So I decided to share my story about my hearing loss and how I overcame those obstacles, and how I did things. So that's kind of like my journey starting right now. And I am doing this with Raquel because I was saying before to the people here, we met a few weeks ago and we connected in many levels. Raquel has her own company. She's also a Latina in business, and we connected in many levels. And we think that there needs to be more awareness about women in business, not only Latinas like us, but women in business in general. So there are many challenges that we're facing, and Raquel and I are an example of women, what they're doing right now to overcome those challenges. So we think it's very important to do that. And thank you to be here. So let's do Raquel do her own introduction too and say a little more about herself and her business.
Oh, thank you so much, Paula, for that. But thank you so much for having me here. And I do want to remind kindly everybody who's joining in, if you make sure that you put yourself on mute, so that we don't have any interference with the noise coming in. But yes, so my name is Raquel Flores. I'm originally from El Salvador. It's a little tiny country in Central America, roughly the size of Massachusetts. So you must imagine it's tiny. I've used that actually, that trauma that I went through as to catapult me into, exploring other avenues in which to deliver my message. And that message is just spread kindness more than anything else around the world, because the world does need a little bit more of that every single day. But my background is in health, and I'm a healthcare consultant. I've been in the home health industry for the last 12 years, ever since I graduated from the university. And I enjoy what I do. I honestly enjoy meeting new people, being out in the community. And that's been more than anything what drove me to jump into this entrepreneur journey that I've embarked for the last 4 months. So I'm very, very recent to this, but I have a lot of expertise and in my background in what I do. A little bit more about pretty much, my journey. She was talking about her childhood. So I grew up in a civil war in El Salvador, and it was tough times. It was really bad times. And at that time, I really didn't see a great outcome for my life. I was too young to understand that as well. And I'm currently working on a book that will share that journey, and hopefully it will come out in the next few months. And I'm inviting you all to follow the journey. A lot of people have been asking me, I want to know a little bit about you. What has, kind of like what has happened in your life that has made you want to share this information with us? Or I just know that our journeys as Latinas will inspire other people. Just if they don't want to, or they're too scared to come out and say something. But I know that our journeys as Latinas and the women were pretty much, just setting the example for other ones to come out and be inspired and to share their knowledge as well. Yes, so I'm here. Like I was telling Paula, the main thing, we just need to unite. We need to come together. We need to be unison and just deliver our messages, be examples for other women out there who may be, just scared to come out and say, hey, I want to do this. Like, I have this idea, but I can't. I'm scared, or this and that. So we just definitely want to be able to inspire you, one, motivate you, and three, give you guidance on what you can and what should be a possibility. I know everybody's in different countries, so policies are maybe different, in every other country. So, but yes, I'm happy to be here, and I'm all about communicating with other folks and meeting other people around the world. So yeah, reach out if there's anything that we could do together and collaborate. Did we lose Paula?
Yeah, I saw someone.
Okay, there you are. Oh no.
Up a little bit. I don't know what happened there. It's the connection that we have happen. Okay, so but we're back on. That's great to hear your story, Raquel. Thank you for sharing that. And as you know, well, we share our story because we connected through a group of women that's called the Expat Woman, with a woman that actually, she does a lot of events, Nina Caputi, and she's really good at, connecting people. And I think the power of connection is huge in life, So I personally think that there are many things in life that can be done if you empower each other as, as professionals, like Raquel and I did. And when you connect each other, you can do great things together. And I think that's the power of networking and empower. Many women still feel that, they can connect or they can empower other women, and they're still fearful of that. But no, I think that the power of uniting and creating connections is so important. And that's how we connected with Raquel. And she was asking me about, my book, because I had this book that I wrote. And I think it's very important that she shares her voice too, her voice in her new book. And I was trying to give her, my feedback about what I did. And I think that's so important right now, to be, uniting to not care about where everyone is going, because everybody has a different journey, but also to connect people together, to empower each other for a good, outcome. And, that's probably the most amazing experience that I had through LinkedIn and many groups that I belong is the power of connection. So I think that's so important. And we're doing this event because we want to raise awareness also for that. All women, they should unite, like Raquel and I, and do things like this every day through, their lives, businesses, whatever situation they're going through. So, but I also want to talk about, how to be an entrepreneur. So the entrepreneurial journey, everybody knows, is a little hard. It's a lonely journey sometimes. You have many ups and downs, and you have to be a very resilient person. So resilience probably is one of the most important things that I think an entrepreneur should have. And now that I actually studied neuroscience to write my book and all these things, I know that resilience is one of the best traits that a human can have, because it helps you to rebound, back from any situation or obstacles that you have in your life. And you can actually build it every day. You can build resilience every day through many things that you can do. So one of the things that I like to do is this, empowering women, feeling compassionate about everyone's journey. And that's actually a very powerful thing. So, but as an entrepreneur, like I said, sometimes you're expecting people to help you, your own family and friends, and sometimes they don't. And you need to understand that. Like I said, it's a lonely journey. And, many women like Raquel and I, we connect each other and we try to help each other out. But is, being an entrepreneur is having a very clear vision of what you want, in visualizing yourself as an entrepreneur, having a purpose and a mission is very important behind this. So when I started a business, I knew I always like wellness in general. So I started my fitness business. I always had the mission, and my vision was to share this product with women who want to be healthier. And I'm trying to connect that business with my neuroscience business now, because I think fitness, mind and body go together, So, but of course, I didn't have a lot of money. I was trying to raise money as a Latina in my other businesses, and it was really hard. So I don't know if you, Raquel, did that, but for me, it was a little hard because there's still not a lot of representation of Latina businesses that they're being, seated or invested on, So it was a little hard in that sense, but I still overcame those obstacles, even with little money, and I tried to do the best I could. Every day, little milestones. I had a list of things that I had to do every day that, every time I finish one of the tasks on the list, I feel the reward, in my brain, write that, and I'll keep going. And every day is like that. It's like, putting your time and effort every day into your business, because it's like a little child that you're raising. So you have to do that. If you don't have that entrepreneurial bug in your mind, you don't want to follow up every day. You don't want to spend nights sometimes, or, long hours of your morning. I know it gets really hard, but it's really, for me, it's one of the best experiences because I love creating things from the scratch. And for me, that's something that fires my, my soul, my heart, everything. So I think that you can be an entrepreneur like that. And if you have, like I said, your purpose and your intentions clear for your business, that's a really good start, to get your business going somewhere. So how about you? What you share?
Absolutely, Paula. I completely agree with you. We all are on this journey together, and that's you and I talked about that. I've talked to countless other, entrepreneurs on this site as well, and on LinkedIn platform. They're going through the same thing. And I'm glad that you brought that up because it's something that we don't talk about. We're here on this professional platform. Everybody's a professional in their own right and in their own expertise. But at the same time, we do face trials and tribulations. We fall down. And what do you do? Those are the key moments. What do you do to get back up? So these groups like what we're trying to build here, the community that we're trying to build with having a safe space for Latina entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs, I think it's important, it's essential. That's what I'm trying to create as well, but I'm trying to create a global community, because what I'm finding out is people are not heard. People are, they feel not validated. They feel their ideas, their comments or opinions are not validated. And it really sucks to feel like that, to be honest with you, because I've been there. And that's been one of the challenges that I face as a Latina entrepreneur, that I just felt I wasn't heard. And when you don't feel that you're heard, you're not validated, then you start questioning yourself. Well, is this even what I want to do? You start doubting yourself. You start filling yourself with, okay, maybe I was a failure. That word doesn't exist in my vocabulary, by the way. I'd say it's a lesson learned. So going back to the obstacles that we face, yes, finances, of course, as women, we're naturally resourceful. We will think about ABC and all the letters of the, the ABC, but we will think about how to fix things, how to approach things. We will think of innovative ways. That's why I say women, we are just a different breed and creed. We think of so many items that we can just put out there and make better, innovate, just different visions, but we just don't do it because there are so many fears surrounding that. So having these type of communities where we can empower one another, I just think we're gonna see so many beautiful things coming out of, women, so many new ideas. But yes, I've faced just many obstacles, the countless obstacles that, we will talk about as these sessions progress. But one thing is definitely for sure is, if you know that this is the route you want to take as an entrepreneur, you better be ready to make sure that you have all the tools, and by the tools meaning the motivation, and that's that tribe, because you will have to say that. I totally agree with you. I've lost family, I've lost friends, because they just don't understand this journey. They don't understand that this is, honestly, it's like it takes all your time, but time and energy and funds, but you have to be resourceful. So I think that's one of the key words. You have to be resourceful. Paula?
That's great. That's great feedback. And I think one of the things you said is true about not having motivation to, and always fear about, things are not going to work out, rejection, and all these things are part of that imposter syndrome that we're talking about here, that actually makes you feel you're not worth it. I'm not going to be able to do this. And then you start hearing your little voices in your mind. But not only that, sometimes friends and family are not cooperating either. They might try to put you down in your journey, even if it's not their journey. And that's not good, because one of the things that you have to set when you're an entrepreneur, that in my personal opinion, is boundaries, because you have a lot of people, around you. And if you let those people, get in your journey, that's not good. So you need to establish, boundaries with everyone around you and say, this is what I want to do, and I'm doing it. Because if you're serious about your motivation and you really want to start, then you need to do it, and don't hear what everyone is telling you, because sometimes they might want, the best for you, but at the same time, some people, they use their logic too much, and they think, oh no, this is not going to work out. But you know what? I saw many products that they're multi-billion-dollar companies that they were told they will not work out. So forget it. I pretty much tried to do my own journey, because when I saw all the stories about women who said no, and then they became, entrepreneurs, huge names in the business, huge companies, that really fires me up. So try to look, instead of hearing the people around you, try to look for people you can look up to, like role models, people that you believe. For example, one of the women that I really believe, that I love her, is the woman from Spanx, Sarah Blakely. So I always follow her, and she's amazing, and she used the power of visualization. She always visualized things, and that was very powerful. So I think that's great, because when you do that, you have the power to visualize your dreams. You have the power to visualize where you're going. to do in life, that helps you a lot. It actually, visualization is one of the tools that not many people, use, but it's very powerful in your mind. And I believe in that. So I follow that person, and I follow other entrepreneurs that they actually help me to get motivation, to fire me inside, to keep going. And that's so important. So when you start hearing those voices, just go to those people, just start looking at them, say, okay, I'm hearing these voices in my head. People are telling me no, but look, here's what she did. I can do that too. So those are the things that are so important in life. And everyone has negative things, thoughts every day in their mind. There's so many thoughts in our heads every day. So we need to shut them down in a way, more effective way is, like I said, looking at role models, trying to be, more grateful about what you have in your journey, appreciate everything what you have every day. That's a really important thing that many entrepreneurs don't use. Visualization, like I said, visualizing your journey, having a crystal clear purpose. Those things will actually keep you motivated to go and don't hear those little imposter syndrome, thoughts and things that come in your mind. Because of course, they stop you, but you have to learn to manage your emotions in a better way, to keep going, to keep your motivation going. And there are many things that you can do that I speak in my book that I did, little things that really help me. So I like to share that, but everyone's journey is different. So everyone has different things that they can use. So, but that's what I did, for example, in my journey that really worked. And yeah, so that's it. What about you, Raquel? What do you do to overcome?
Yes, whenever, like I said, this entrepreneurial journey for me is relatively new, but in the bit of time that I've had it or that I've been through it, I've just been noticing, there's a lot of negativity or there are a lot of naysayers. And it's really sad to see that because you would think, oh, they're going to support me. I have a new and innovative idea. Like I want to do this. I want to be a businesswoman. And the last person you think that will kind of like give your their back, and it's just you're like, oh my gosh, like am I in the right place? Again, it's you start doubting yourself and like, am I made for this? Even though you have the knowledge and you have all the capabilities in order to do that, but you start doubting yourself and then you fall back, you fall behind 2 3 steps, and that's not what we need to do. I know that for me, this has been kind of like an eye-opening experience because, like I said, I've lost family, I've lost some friends, and I'm just like, well, why don't you just want to join me on this journey? Like I thought you had my back, and so it's really taught me that at the end of the day, you only have you. And you have to have a solid foundation where you need to go when you fall down yourself. I usually, do meditation. I wasn't doing meditation when I was younger, but that I found that really helps me in the morning. I get up really early. I have my 30 minutes of meditation. I do, my calming. If not, I do exercises, but that grounds me. I feel that a lot of people right now, because we're so busy on the go, 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 we get so caught up in that. We forget to actually take breaks and stop and say, hey, I need to reset. So during this, the last year that I've been experiencing this, I've had to really dive and research what works for me. Yes, the exercise doesn't really do that well with me in the morning because then I have like a crash mid-morning and I'm like, oh, I'm tired. So I found that meditation really does help me. Aromatherapy has helped me a lot too, to kind of just zap out of that negative zone whenever whenever my mind wants to go there. I remind you that the mind is very powerful, extremely powerful. And
Yeah,
every day in the morning, you have to manifest and affirm. I listen to affirmations in the morning, when I'm doing the meditation as well. So that really helps me get into that mood, because everybody, when they see me, it's just like, Raquel, you're just like boom, 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 fire, a firecracker. I'm like, well, this is me, honestly. This is my real personality. I'm not always, like the composed one. This is who I am authentically. So it's not it's not difficult for me to keep that. Obviously, everybody gets tired, but towards the end of the day. But I think definitely meditation has helped me, Paula, just to answer your question.
I totally agree with you. The power of meditation is amazing. I actually do that every day too. That's one of the things that helped me through my journey and through overcoming those obstacles and to keep my mind, those negative thoughts go down a lot, when you cleared your mind, you just watch, your thoughts, as an aspect, just looking at your emotions without analyzing, over analyzing things. That's so important because that helps your mind, it helps your body too because it gets you in a in a flow, it gives you in a better state where you have more resources to make better decisions. You can do so many things. And like you said, the power of the mind is pretty amazing. And I actually did that too. I do that every day too. I use visualizations, affirmations, I write every day. Journaling is one of the things that I did that actually helped me through my journey, not only my personal journey, but entrepreneurial journey, is that I write a lot. So I like to write. I actually used to write poems as a kid, I love writing poems. I think you do too, Raquel, you told me that. So there you go. So one of the other things that we share, but writing is one of the things that you can really express yourself and it gets those things out of your mind, those bad emotions, feelings. It's not about stopping your emotions. It's about feeling them, acknowledge them and letting them go. So that's what I do every day. I try to deal with that. And of course, my busy family, like yours with kids, crazy up and down, Latina, fire personality, of course. But, we get through that, knowing my emotions, trying to control, my feelings better. Being a non-reactive entrepreneur actually helps me a lot, to be more compassionate, be more, with the people around me. I don't like to be, the boss that, everybody fears. I like to be the person that everybody can go, not only in my business, but in my family, with my kids, with everyone. So leading with compassion is so powerful too. So that's one of the things that actually creates a successful business is, leading people with compassion and being vulnerable, be looking at people's emotions and say, acknowledging that everyone goes through their own journey, even if they're working for you, they wake up every day to work for you, whatever they're doing, they're contributing to your success. You need to be empathetic to the journey that everyone is going through. So I think that's so powerful that I learned through my businesses and through life. That actually creates, is a very powerful experience and creates, not only a successful business, but success, the people like to work for you and they're happy to, share their expertise, their work, their time, with you. So that's actually one of the things that helps when you have a business is not to be just the boss yourself, like Raquel said, and using those tools to help you get into that, journey of being more compassionate. Meditation is one of the things that it helps with that too. So, and how do you, for example, I know many women, Latina women, we face a lot of issues with, I said, raising money. And for example, one of the things that Raquel and I were talking is our accent. So we all do have a little accent, and some people, like it or not, that's the way it is. So we have to face, things like that every day in our journey. But if you step into that, being so authentic and you just show yourself as you are, like I said, being vulnerable and sharing your journey, I think that's very powerful and people really appreciate that. Even you're raising money or, whatever you're doing in your life for your business, that actually helps more. So, I think that's what I face in my entrepreneurial journey just until now. And also as a Latina in a new country, every day I have to face these things that people will look at me because I have an accent or not, but whatever, I just keep going and everything is fine. and I'm just the person that I am, and I show that to everyone. And most of the people, the reaction that I get is that they love, what I'm sharing, and they open up with me, and that creates, a space that we all, a safe space where we connect, we create deeper connections, and that's what I'm looking for, every day in my business and my personal life.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Raquel?
Yes, no, I'm so happy that you brought up the accent because I know you and I talked about that, and
Yeah.
it really does put a damper on one's spirit, honestly. And I think that was one of the main things that when I got to the US, and luckily I was young enough to be able to grasp the language better than per se my brother. My brother's 4 years older than me, so he came a little bit, later, where I guess his school wasn't that important to him, and however for me it was. So I ingrained in my head, oh, I need to learn this language. Oh, I need to learn this language. I need to perfect it. So it was one of those self motivations that I had to make sure. And plus, I also have this love for languages. I love languages. So besides that, I speak Portuguese, and a little French, although I don't use it anymore. So I'm kind of losing it.
Oh,
So yes, it's just, it's one of those things that I was like, oh my gosh, I love languages. In high school, I took French, so I kind of took it over to college. Spanish being my main language, that's my mother tongue, as we say it, but English is my second. So I came with that idea. No, I definitely want to learn English because I know accents are extremely important, right? So it's like I use that trauma in order to make sure that it helped me. But now that I see other individuals globally, how they really they don't express themselves because they feel judged. One, they feel judged. Two, they're scared. Three, they're shy. But I'm like, that's you. That's who you are. That's the authentic you. That's your essence. And people may not even look at your accent at the end of the day. They might be like, you know what, the skills this person has or what they contributed, this what matters. At the end of the day, your accent will just, it's like Sofia Vergara. She has like one of the thickest accents on TV, but yet she's what, multimillionaire, and she's rocking it out there. She has several businesses, and she just, hey, that's me. That's who I am. You take it or you leave it. and that's the attitude. It's just having that confidence in your capabilities as a professional, one, and as an individual too, and just like loving your essence. I get it all the time. Some people, they just like, oh, you're a little too much. You're just like, simmer down. I'm like, well, this is me. Whether you take it or you leave it, that's just the way it is. But I get it. It's a struggle, even for native speakers. I think I posted a video last week about pronunciations. Honestly, that is a big deal breaker for some people who are just, learning English. It discourages them. Even for me, I'm like, if I'm trying to pronounce or, it sounds the same. Of course, imagine for a non-native speaker, it boggles their mind, and I don't blame them. So yes, it's very important, but the accent shouldn't detract anybody from opportunities. You shouldn't have to hide away. I just think you should use that and turn it into a way that it could be a positive highlight for you and as a standout feature. That's the way I see it.
exactly. We should accept ourselves, and be proud of what makes us unique, and that's what we are. We're in a new country and we're very unique. We have different culture, we have different values, and we have to merge, with all these different things that we go in a new country. So I know it's a challenge in the beginning, but like I said, trying to connect with other people, networking, trying to get your ideas, going, and no matter what people are telling you, just keep going. And you're just a very unique person like everyone is, and you have, of course, weaknesses and strengths, and everybody should see that. I'm not afraid of showing what I am. I know I have, some problems or weaknesses that I need to work on, but everybody has their own journey, and that's more powerful than anything, in life and business. So I think that's how many entrepreneurs probably did it, because they accepted themselves as who they are, and they didn't matter, they didn't care about, that. the guy from Tesla, he has some neurodiverse, things things like they actually prevented him from getting a job in a company because he was too shy to go, to get a job. So he decided to do his own thing. So there are things that happen in life that when you face, difficulties in life, that actually those difficulties, they're actually good things that happen to you to start a new journey. So many entrepreneurs face that. And like the bigger names, like I said, Elon and everyone, they all face that. And many women like you and me, and many women like the woman from the banks I was telling you about that I follow as a role model, Sarah Brinkley. She used to share her journey. She said many rejections she had in her life. And that's normal. That's what life is, is that you have to have a tough skin and say, okay, they told me no, the next one will say yes. So that's what we want to share with you. And like I said with Raquel, we want to do this chat next week too in Spanish. So everyone knows, if you want to invite some people who speak Spanish, some people said they will come and bet they had some friends who speak Spanish. They wanted to know about these tips and things that we're discussing here. So you want to say something else, Raquel, to close this chat?
No, I mean, I know we're probably going to open the platform for questions, and I would definitely like to hear, what's on your mind. I think that's the one thing that I love about LinkedIn as well, is that you can be so interactive with professionals on many levels and on different expertises, and I love finding out people's stories. I love hearing about what their journeys are, what they're going through, what obstacles, and learning together, because at the end of the day, this is a journey that we have to, like, it's like we're a tribe, we're a community. So I'm really happy that we're, building this safe space for women to come here and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through, ladies. Like, even if it's just to disconnect from the real world, if this is a space for you to take a breather and just listen to some women, talk about their day-to-day, hey, this is what we're here for. We definitely want to have an empowerment space, and also a safe space where you can just feel like you can breathe for a second, that people are here going through the same thing and they will understand you. Your story will resonate with others, and just know that we're here together. We're in this together. And I think that's very important. So that's all I wanted to add, Paula.
Great. Yeah, that's so true. So you have any questions, guys? Maybe there's some in the chat we can actually check right now. So I recorded this session, somebody's asking me. So yeah, if you have any questions right now, you can put them in the chat, and we would love to hear what you say, about, your questions you have of entrepreneurship. We're always also in social media, in LinkedIn, Raquel and we have social media. For example, mine is New Mom CEO, where I share a lot about neuroscience, my journey with hearing loss. I actually raise a lot of awareness about that too, because, hearing loss is one of the issues that many people, don't know much about, but there's not a lot of awareness about that. So I do that too. But I also share my entrepreneurial journey and my experience with neuroscience now, what I've been going through, and the power of your mind and your brain, and how to connect that, your power, the power of your mind and your brain and your body, because it's all connected. And if you can work on that, that'll be amazing for anything that you do in life, just personal or business. And I think that'll be amazing. Where can you share also your social media, Raquel, so people can see?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So right now, the agency's name, or the company's name, is Raquel Ideal Care, and I have all the information on my LinkedIn. I'm currently, since I'm new at, very new at this, everything is, all my efforts are in LinkedIn right now to just grow my community there. And then, but eventually I do have a page for Instagram and Facebook that will be active in the next few months, once everything is pretty much taken together. But at the moment, you can find me on LinkedIn as Raquel Flores, just like my first and last name, and I'll be more than happy to connect. And if you know anybody else who would definitely benefit from this information, whether it's in Spanish or in English, please don't be shy. Send them our information. I'm always up for connecting and chatting. I literally do these on a daily basis. I connect with people all over the world. I was chatting with 3 different people yesterday, Pakistan, Australia, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to be able to just sit down for 15 and 30 minutes or to 30 minutes and just chat with somebody else who may be experiencing the same things, who may be going through different things, and we share ideas. Sometimes we collaborate. This is exactly what's happening, with Paula and me. So you never know what opportunities may arise just from the power of connecting. So I encourage everyone to do that.
Great. So thank you so much for being here, and please connect with us on LinkedIn. Any questions that you have of entrepreneurship or journeys, whatever it is, we're here for you. So, and like I said, next week, in a week from now, we're going to have the Spanish chat, so you can connect to you or invite your friends to speak Spanish. And thank you very much for being here today.
All right, bye-bye, everyone. Look forward to seeing y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right,
Raquel. Thank you, everyone. Bye.